Hi guys, I'm Mario Frotto and this is Making the Case. Before I get started, I just want to thank all of you guys for helping me break 10,000 subscribers. I've had a really rough go of it with YouTube, removing views, removing subscribers. Now they just restricted my video on Kyle Rittenhouse. But in spite of all that, I was able to do this, and it's thanks to you guys. So seriously, thank you so much for the support, and I really look forward to making more content for you guys. So as you guys already know, the Republican National Convention was brilliant. It was really well produced. There were some great speakers like Maximo Alvarez, Vernon Jones, Herschel Walker, Alice Johnson was really great. And it seemed like everything went perfectly. And that was pretty evident by the reaction of CNN. Take a look at the faces on these guys after the Republican convention. So it's pretty obvious from the look on their faces that the convention went really well for the Republicans. Donald Trump's speech was awesome as well, and these guys were basically flipping out after. You also had Nancy Pelosi come out and say that Joe Biden shouldn't debate Donald Trump. Then you had Hillary say that Joe Biden shouldn't concede if he loses the election under any circumstances. So clearly the Democrats and the media are in full panic mode, and rightly so. Since the convention, Donald Trump's been moving up in the betting odds. Some sites even have him the favorite now, but it's essentially a coin flip. Now remember, back in 2016, they had it 70-30 for Hillary Clinton to win, and we know what happened then. Now what's really interesting is there was a poll done by Emerson, and in that poll they have Joe Biden leading Donald Trump 49-47, but remember again in 2016 Hillary won the popular vote by 2 points, and that wasn't enough to win the Electoral College. So a 2-point lead for Joe Biden really is him losing the election right now. The Emerson poll was done with likely voters, and a lot of the other polls that have Biden leading by a wider margin were done with registered voters, so they're really not as accurate, but some of these polls have Biden leading by as much as 12 points, and that's way outside the margin of error for the Emerson poll, so you really can't have both be true. Now, even some of these polls that have Donald Trump losing by 10 or 12 points, when you look into the details, you can really see how well he's actually doing. With black voters in some of these polls, he's getting 19%. Other ones, he's getting 13%. Now, in 2016, I think it was 89-8 for Hillary with black voters over Trump. And compare that now to 77-13 or 75-19, that's a huge difference. It's really not likely that Trump could get 15-20% of the black vote and lose the election. So that really shows you how these polls are skewed. I think I looked at one where they had oversampled Democrats by 18 points, and the 2016 election was only a 2 or 3 point edge for Democrats. So that's really a wild spectrum. And we all know that this election is going to come down to a couple states. It's probably going to be Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Florida, Minnesota possibly. And Trafalgar Group had polled these states back in 2016, and they were one of the only pollsters, if not the only pollster, that got them right. And right now they have Donald Trump leading in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Florida. So this is really sounding the alarm. You now have Joe Biden going to states like Minnesota, where George Floyd was killed, and that was a really close state in 2016. I think Donald Trump only lost by 1.5 points. So the fact that he's going there tells you a lot. Joe Biden also made a trip to Kenosha, Wisconsin. Now, Donald Trump had just went there, so of course Joe Biden had to follow his lead and head there as well. But some really funny stuff happened there. Joe Biden was speaking in a church, and as we all know, there was the shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha. Then there was also the incident with Kyle Rittenhouse defending himself from rioters. So of course, the one thing Joe Biden shouldn't joke about, which would be shooting, is exactly what he does. Take a listen to him here.
I'm not going to punish anybody, but everybody should pay a fair share. And I can lay out for you, I won't now because they'll shoot me. But here's the deal.
Now that's similar to the Democratic debates when Joe was talking about domestic violence and the abuse of women. He says we need to keep punching at it and punching at it. So he's really out of touch. Now here's another clip of Joe just acting really weird, and you can see why his handlers really don't want him out in public.
Just tell the truth. And the concluding comment I'll make is, there's a lot of folks who thought that, well, the president's made great strides with his law and order strides here. That boy, after his convention, he really made inroads. He hasn't. Not at all. No, I'm not serious. I'm being...
Finally, here's a clip of Joe Biden today where he's reading off the teleprompter and he actually reads the words "end of quote."
Defund Social Security and eliminate Obamacare in the middle of a pandemic. End of quote. End of quote. End of quote.
We should really only expect more of this stuff from Joe Biden moving forward, and if these poll numbers for Donald Trump with black voters and Hispanic voters keep increasing going forward, and he keeps taking leads in these swing states, imagine when the debates come and people actually get to hear from Joe Biden unfiltered for hours on end. It really doesn't seem like it's going to end well for him, and I can't see Donald Trump losing this election without some sort of voter fraud. Guys, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys.